Hello, my name is Brandon Greene, and along with my colleagues Matthew Nails and Jamal, we conducted an experiment where the purpose was to create and then test the strength of an electromagnet. Now, the materials that we have used are 9-volt batteries, alligator clips, insulated copper wire, steel alloy rod, and paper clips. The electromagnet itself is composed of the copper wire, the steel rod, the alligator clips, and the 9-volt batteries. And then the things that we use to test the strength are the paper clips. Now, to give the steel rod the magnetic properties, which makes an electromagnet, you have to connect the leads of the copper wire to the battery. We did this by wrapping the copper wire as tight as we could around the battery and then securing it with the alligator clips. Now, when doing this, you have to be careful not to touch the leads to each other, because with bigger power sources, it could create a big issue. You also have to be careful not to burn yourself when doing this. Now, if you give the battery a moment, the electrons are going through the copper wire and aligning the poles within the steel rod, which makes the steel rod become an electromagnet, because in theory, as soon as you disconnect the battery, the steel rod should lose all electromagnetic properties, which doesn't necessarily happen in experimental, but it does slowly start to lose the properties, and after 30 minutes or so, the properties are completely gone. So now that we've given the battery a moment to align the poles, if you tap a pole into your piles of paper clips, you'll be able to pick up paper clips. Now, this is not to reflect the results of the experiment. This is just to demonstrate what was done. As you can see, the steel rod is able to pick up paper clips. Now, when we did this, we picked up paper clips and then we moved paper clips to a different location, disconnect the battery, and then count the paper clips to measure the amount of paper clips that could be found on the steel rod. And in this run, there were 4, 5, 6 on the ends of this steel rod. Now, to move to the 200 count of coils, and the magnetic properties are mainly only found on the poles, which is pretty cool to me. I find that pretty interesting. So you're going to do the same thing. You're going to wrap your leads tight as possible around. Actually, what I should do is switch batteries out, because batteries get warm and you don't want to have a battery explode in front of your face. So you're going to switch your lead. You're going to attach your leads as best as possible. You're going to secure it with your alligator clips, just like that. You're going to do the same thing to the other side, being careful not to touch the leads to each other, because that's very dangerous. Once you have them securely together, you're going to want to wait a second. And this is going to do the same thing that it did for the 100 coils. And it's going to align the poles within this steel rod. This is a different steel rod. They were once the same, but I had it cut into different parts. So you're going to give it a moment. Put these paper clips back into the bigger piles. And now we're going to take it. And we're going to be able to dip the poles and touch them to paper clips. And we should be able to pick up paper clips. And if we let these run long enough, we could do like you could do in the monkey in the barrel game. Oh, there it is. You can do that, where it actually translates the magnetic properties through the paper clips and allows you to pick up paper clips with paper clips. And with this one, it looks as though we only have 5 paper clips. And then we disconnected the battery. All right, so now I've taken the 250 coils and place them on the steel alloy rod. And I'm going to connect the leads to the battery. Got to make sure to get them on there as tight as possible so that they do not come off. Secure with the alligator clip. I'm going to do the same thing with the other side. Careful as not to touch the leads to create any arcing. And secure with the alligator clips. Now, the battery is doing the same thing that it did for the steel alloy rod with 100 coils and the 150 coils and the 200 coils. It's aligning the poles within the rod to bring on magnetic properties. Now, at this point, we should be able to touch the steel rod to paper clips and pick up paper clips. Now, the magnetic properties are mainly only found at the poles. And we're able to pick up quite a few paper clips. Gotta be careful not to drop them. With 250 coils. That adds up to 6 paper clips on 250 coils. Now, as I said, this is not to demonstrate, this is just to demonstrate what we did. This does not reflect the results in any way because we did repeat this 3 times with each of the coils. And my name is Brandon Greene. This project was completed with the help of Matthew Nails and Jamal. Thank you and have a good day.